Hush, marvelous viewers. The Death Angels are coming. Hey there, marvelous horror fans! Welcome back to the channel. Before we start our video, I'd like to share a very fascinating bit of news with you, especially the fans of post-apocalyptic horror cinema, and no doubt most of you know this already. Our favorite horror film franchise, A Quiet Place, is finally getting a third part, after years of waiting. But here's the thing, people have lots of questions roaming around their heads. What's the premise going to be? What kind of film is it going to be? Who's going to put on the director's hat for this, and who will be the other creative masterminds behind it? When's the film going to release? This video will answer all of these questions and update you with everything we know about A Quiet Place Part 3. But before that, I'd like to make a humble request. We'd feel indebted if you subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to never miss any uploads. I'm Austin, your host for today, and without any further ado, let's begin. The legacy of the original film and the franchise. Okay guys, we're traveling back to 2018 for now, pre-COVID times, and we were all bracing ourselves for the new Avengers movie. And I'm glad that y'all can feel those nostalgic feelings in your system. Nevertheless, our eyes were blessed with this wonderful horror film about aliens versus humanity, and it was both written and directed by John Krasinski, whom we all know as Jim Halpert from the show The Office. So we were really excited about what kind of horror film he's going to deliver. More fascinating is that the film starred the talented Emily Blunt, and both played the Abbott couple, who navigate a world dominated by extraterrestrial animals with acute hearing senses called the Death Angels. And the premise was pretty interesting too. When we are made to see a world where humans try to stay as quiet as possible in order to not get wiped out in one single snap. You know, that's pretty serious, because there's certainly a flavor of double entendre to its message regarding the fickleness of human existence. Much to the viewers and the team's shock, this film not only grossed over $340 million worldwide, despite being a film with only a $17 million budget, but at the same time revolutionized modern horror cinema, due to which it earned an Oscar nomination. Such is the legacy of A Quiet Place. Fast forward 3 years later and we got the sequel, which would shatter box office records, as it had the biggest opening weekend, considering that it was released around the time a deadly pandemic was dominating everyone's lives. Overall, the film grossed over $297 million worldwide, against a budget of $61 million, and was highly praised by the critics, both for its impressive storyline and the addition of the character Emmett, played by the 28 Days Later fame, Cillian Murphy. By the way, it's important to note that this installment, which hits theaters 3 years after Part 2's release, was not a continuation of the story. Rather, it was a prequel spin-off of the franchise. Despite this, A Quiet Place Day 1 had delivered a striking box office performance, which did prove one thing: the universe can work even without the Abbott family becoming its central focus. Add a video game to the world of A Quiet Place and voila, you get one of the most successful horror film franchises of the 21st century. Sources also confirm that the upcoming A Quiet Place film is going to be a closing chapter to the story of the Abbott family's struggle in a world dominated by cruel foreign entities. All of this does hint that we're going to witness the craziest conclusion to a horror film that could ever be imagined. Plot details. What the film can potentially explore. Let's talk about what the film could potentially be about. No doubt, the plot details of the film are still under wraps, yet it's obvious that this film is going to pick up where the second one left off. 5 years ago, we saw this crazy saga of survival end with Regan, played by Millicent Simmons, and Emmett finally hijacking a working radio station on the island, before fleeing rural isolation by broadcasting a high-frequency feedback from her cochlear implant. This allows Marcus to then shoot one alien back at the abandoned foundry. And with that, an insane shift in the tone of the saga is noticed by the audience. In fact, sources and many official updates also repeatedly confirm that the closure to this tale is going to become more of an action survival rebellion-esque follow-up, unlike the prequels that were rather survival thrillers, for the deadly weapon needed to weaken the death grip of the alien apocalypse has finally been discovered. What's next is certainly the characters vanquishing the entire alien population, and indeed, we're going to see many sacrifices and losses too. Fancy hearing about a delicious hunch? In May 2026, Krasinski, who will direct, produce, and has already written the screenplay of the film, took to Instagram and captured the principal photography happening in New York City, so it's officially confirmed that the filming is underway. Here we go, #Part 3, Krasinski captioned. At the same time, the post by Krasinski also indicates that we'll be seeing the Abbott family and Emmett leaving rural isolation to link up with larger pockets of survivors, and that they may cross paths with Henry, the sole survivor of A Quiet Place Day 1. Or we may expect an appearance performance of Frodo the cat. We all remember what kind of anxiety he gave us in the spin-off film. So, what's interesting is that Henry, the character played by Jimon Honsu, is in both A Quiet Place Part 2 and Day 1. So there's a possibility of Krasinski trying to further connect the characters and storylines of the spin-off film and the recent events happening in universe. Besides, in his interview, Krasinski has himself claimed that the third part is going to have a requisite big bad, an intense fight for survival, and in fact, many moments of sheer terror, which, on being stripped away, will present a psychological evaluation of a family and the way humans communicate with each other during Bedlam. That being said, let's jump to the cast details of the film. Cast and crew. Now that we're done discussing the potential plot of the film, it begs the question, will past characters return? Yes, the entire surviving Abbott family is, of course, returning, with Emily Blunt playing Evelyn, Millicent Simmons playing Regan, and Noah Jupe playing Marcus. Indeed, John Krasinski, the mastermind behind the second film, is back to direct this one, which he's also written. However, he may not return as Lee Abbott, the patriarch of the family. It's true that Lee had sacrificed himself in the end of the movie, but then he did make a brief appearance in the flashbacks throughout the course of the second film. Most excitingly, Cillian Murphy is also coming back as Emmett, and he's going to step up as the new protector figure for the Abbott family. Rather than resorting to being the cold-hearted survivor he remained throughout the second part. On top of that, Paramount Studios just added serious firepower to the cast, of course through the new members that will be joining. The confirmed cast for new additions include the Skins and the Sinners fame Jack O'Connell, Jason Clarke, who co-starred along with Murphy in the 2023 blockbuster Oppenheimer, and Katie O'Brien. Regardless, there are more actors that are yet to be announced. Speaking about the co-producers, we have heavyweights like Michael Bay, Andrew Forum, and the Platinum Dunes fame Brad Fuller all returning, alongside Allison Seeger, who had partnered with Krasinski from Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan Ghost War, and it'll all be aided by Sunday Night Productions. Delays and setbacks. Like every franchise faces during the principal shooting of a new installment, either due to controversial or many other factors, the team behind A Quiet Place has also faced many delays and setbacks. In fact, the film is not trapped in some traditional scandal controversy. It's just that the idea of Part 3 being an action survival genre is being met with skepticism by lots of die-hard fans of this franchise. In forums like r/horror and r/movies, there's an active debate ongoing amongst the community. If you're involved in a few discussions surrounding A Quiet Place, you'll clearly be able to address the fan divide. While one half of the community argues that the sequel to the films are being overhated without any valid reason, the other half posts that it should have ended with the first film itself and is expressing the franchise fatigue. In the meantime, many others are also grumbling on the forums that since a known weakness of the Death Angels has finally been discovered, the tension may abruptly fade away, and the third film may end up becoming a generic shooter movie, akin to the Shoot the Zombie video games. Here we go. Release date announcement. Well, speaking about the release date, it's going to be a topic of ambiguity. Just following the release of the prequel film Day 1, the follow-up to the 2021 release has undeniably been in the works for several years. But then the film has undergone massive shifts. In 2022, it was announced that the film was slated for 2025, but then it was bumped to July 9, 2027. Nevertheless, later on May 16, 2026, Krasinski took to Instagram to post the confirmed cast for Part 3 and captions, "Here we go, July 30th, 2027. Well, here we go again, I'd say. But as long as the film's release date is not pushed back anymore, I guess I'm fine with it. So that's it for today, guys. What are your thoughts about the upcoming A Quiet Place film? Drop them in the comments section below. If you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to drop a like and share it with your friends. Also, for more such marvelous videos, subscribe and hit the bell icon to never miss any updates. Until then, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye!